Yo. What's up guys, Gudev here. Today, I'm going to review Zetsu. Recently, he was on limited time chest event with Sage Mode Naruto. So I think it is a good timing to do a review about him. By the way, this is Zetsu after 6 gates opened. Let's start with his passive skill. Passive skill increases own HP by 34.7%. Upon the starting of each turn, it reduces attack and defense by 20% for enemies in the front row, lasts for 1 turn. Meanwhile, it increases own damage resist rate by 30% and damage rate by 25%, lasts for 1 turn. Increases the trigger rate of minor skill by 50%, lasts for 2 turns, and becomes immune to control for 1 turn, including immunity of confusion, banishment, taunt, silence, stun, paralysis, and rage reduction, when own HP is lower than 50%. There is a 60% chance to trigger invincible status when being attacked, lasts for 1 turn, it can only be triggered once per battle. The lower your HP is, the higher the chance to trigger, up to 100%. At this status, the caster is immune to all damage and debuff. Let's check. His first passive. Increase own HP by 34.7% is added directly to his stat. Here I have Zetsu with 3,864,730 HP. After leveling up his passive skill by 10 level, his HP increased to 3,866,094. Let's move to the next one. On the starting of each turn, reduce attack and defense by 20% for front row enemies. At the same time, Zetsu gained damage resist rate by 30% and damage rate by 25%, skill trigger rate increase by 50%. Also immune to control for 1 turn. Speaking of immune to control, there are a long list of different types of control that Zetsu immune to. Let's check a few of them. Rage reduction. Stun. Silence. 3 already out of his passive. I'll leave the rest for you to check on your own. Now let's check his last passive. Here Zetsu HP is already below 50%. When Inoki attack him, he enter invincible status. He also immune to any damage from the enemy. Same as all ninja that have invincible. They all do not immune to debuff or control during this state, which make their invincible go to waste. For her passive skill, all are working just fine except for his immunity for control and immune to debuff during invincible state not working. Moving on to her skill. Deals 199.4% plus 1960 points of damage to a line of enemy units, increasing own block rate by 50%, permanent effective. Restores own HP by 20% and chakra by 200 points. The more minor skills casted in the current wave, the better the restore effect. It can restore up to 35% HP and 500 points of chakra. Just like in the description, after using skill, increase block rate by 50%, restore HP by 20% and chakra by 200 point. The more frequent he use the skill, the better the effect are. This is the HP he gained on the first round of using skill. And this is the HP he gained after using skill on the round 2. Proceed to secret jutsu. Let's do this one by one. Deal 329 1% plus 4,704 points of damage to enemy and inflict bleed status to enemy, which didn't mention in description, and chakra reduction from his exclusive tools. Will increase own secret jutsu resistance. He then gain attack and defense by 20% and block strength by 40% for 2 turn. Consume 12% of own max HP. To deal 20% of Zetsu max HP as damage. This effect ignores immunity control. For now, all is working. Now let's check the next one. When own HP is lower than 60% or below, increases own def by 35%, lasts for 2 turns. When own HP is lower than 50% or below, additionally increases own attack by 10%. When own HP is lower than 30% or below, heals own HP by 20% of max HP and disperses debuff from friendly units can only be triggered once per turn. About removing debuff status from allies, he rarely do that. Like this one, he remove the debuff when he dies. Maybe there a chance for that. Moving on. When the caster dies, they're in 100% chance to activate the last defense status on one random allies. For the friendly unit under this effect, reduce damage taken, increases 20% attack, and ignore enemies block. Take this fight for example. Here. When Sage of 6th Path Madara kills Zetsu, legendary Sannin, then received the last defense status which give him all those buff. Even with those last drop of HP, he managed to stay alive until the buff disappear. That how strong this buff are. Overall Zetsu is just good of a character. His ultimate is the star of his kit, doing a lot of true damage. After death, give his last defense to a random allies that boost damage resist, attack, and break rate like steroids. That can turn the tide around if given to the right ninja. This skill is what makes him more durable in the battle. Each cast, give him block rate, health, and chakra. Even better, more frequent he use his skill, the better the effect are. But even with all that, since his passive, immune to control doesn't work, he be dead before he be able to release it. Otherwise he be a really good character. If you find this video helpful, be sure to subscribe for more content. That's all from me, thank you.